Just 5 days after the devastating earthquake, Nepal's government is encouraging people to go ahead with their plans to climb Mount Everest. Meanwhile, the rescue and recovery operations have not stopped. Andrew Spencer reports many people in Nepal are desperate for aid.
Their orphanage badly damaged. 55 children now sleep under a makeshift tent. 19-year-old Ishwar Gamire helped get them to safety when Saturday's earthquake shook their Nepali village.
It was so frightening. And all the children, they started crying and screaming, and I was like, oh my God, what are we going to do now?
Now, they're just doing what they can for themselves.
Yeah, we're pretty much on our own because we haven't got any help yet.
More planes carrying aid arrived at the airport in Kathmandu Wednesday.
Water purification tablets, with hygiene kits, with tents, tarps.
But government officials say they still urgently need 500,000 tents to provide shelter to what is a huge number of people displaced amid the devastation. In the mountains north of the city, crews evacuate survivors. The army found a Belgian couple taking shelter in one of the few standing buildings in Langtang.
When you see entire villages that you saw the previous day that was still standing, now just covered in snow, and you know how fast everything went, and you just know that this entire place is a graveyard.
In Kathmandu, crews search through the rubble. Here they hope to find a 45-year-old mother alive. Instead, they find her body. She is one among thousands as the death toll continues to rise every day. Elsewhere, a miraculous rescue. A 27-year-old man surviving more than 80 hours buried under the rubble. His family says he's now resting, feeble and distraught, but alive. I'm Andrew Spencer, reporting.
Scenes that are mostly tough to look at, and we're here with a man who wants to see them even closer. Jonathan Brewer is a senior at Texas A&M right now, and this fall he'll be an Aggie medical student, but first he wants to travel to Nepal with a team to aid in medical relief. Jonathan, tell us, what would that medical relief involve? What can you do?
So I'll be traveling down there. I was an EMT for 4 years in college, and I'll be traveling down there as an incoming medical student. And so what I'll be doing primarily is working with disease prevention. We have a lot of waterborne diseases that are coming out right now, and a lot of wound care as well. A lot of the people that had traumatic injuries, they're going to be needing, dressings changed, sutures replaced, things like that. So I'll be going down there to really help with kind of those efforts and just making sure that the population, even though they've had their initial injuries treated, that they don't catch a disease as a result.
Sure. And a lot of people right now with any sort of overseas disaster like this, we want to help, we want to do something, but we don't know how. So you're going over there, but of course not everybody can. What can we do?
So I actually have a GoFundMe page right now that is collecting donations so that all the money that is donated to that page will go towards paying for antibiotics. It'll be paying for wound care treatments like sutures, gauze, things like that, and just any kind of sort of survival supplies as well that the people need right now. We're really trying to focus, in my trip, my team is really trying to focus on medical aspects, and so that's what all the money will be going towards. Not planning on using any sort of personal expenses, but really more towards all the people of Nepal and their medical necessities right now.
Sure, clearly a lot of necessities, a lot of supplies that you would need. Why this trip? Why is this cause so important to you?
So I got involved in medical missions when I was first year at Texas A&M, with my first trip to Haiti, and just ever since then, humanitarian work has really been one of my biggest passions. I've just fell in love with going to different countries and just working in clinics, I've worked in a trauma hospital in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, just anywhere that I can to help out. We actually, a team of us actually started Haiti's first EMS service. And so now they have a flight paramedic program down there and all these different things. And it's just incredible to see that all these different aspects that one person or one team can enact such a big change on a population. And so I always like to say to people that humanitarian work is my passion and medicine's my tool.
Well, sure, and you're using both of those. We've seen in the news, now it's starting to come out, these beautiful stories of rescue. Obviously, they're not always successful, but so many of them have been so inspiring, and you're about to go be a part of that. How does that feel?
It's humbling in a sense. It's just, we grow up in this environment where people are so worried about their iPads and their iPhones, and then when you go down there, and the most critical aspect is just survival. And it's trying to see whether or not your uncle or your mother, your father survived. I mean, they found infants without families now. I think at last count, we have over 1 million displaced orphans now in Nepal. And so just being able to hear about those stories, being able to be a part of that, it's just surreal to me. It's just something that, I mean, I truly value, and that if I can make the change in one person's life, it'll have been a successful trip.
Right. Some of those numbers are staggering, but like you said, if you can go over there and just chip away at those awful statistics even just a little bit. Well, good luck to you. Check our website a little bit later, kbtx.com. We'll have this posted along with a link to Jonathan's fundraising page so you can help out if you want to. Thank you, Jonathan, for being here.
Thank you, Kathleen.